The USS Gerald R. Ford is one of the most advanced and most expensive pieces of military hardware ever built. After years of development and many delays, she was finally ready for deployment only a few months ago. Costing somewhere in the region of $13.3 billion to build, many have argued that the money could probably have been better spent elsewhere. However, as you are about to find out, that money has bought a very tough and incredibly capable piece of kit. What is the USS Gerald R. Ford? The USS Gerald R. Ford, the official designation carrier, volplane, nuclear 78, CVN 78, is the United States Navy's latest and most advanced aircraft carrier designed and built to replace their aging Enterprise and Nimitz classes of supercarriers. The first of her class, she is named after Gerald R. Ford, the 38th President of the United States, who served in the Navy during World War II and saw combat aboard the light aircraft carrier USS Monterey in the Pacific Theater. First ordered in 2008, on August 11, 2005, Northrop Grumman staged a ceremonial steel cutting for a 15-ton plate that will be part of the carrier's side shell unit. The Gerald R. Ford's keel was set down on November 13, 2009, and on November 9, 2013, she was officially christened. The USS Gerald R. Ford was a replacement for the then-retired USS Enterprise, CVN 65, which had served for 51 years. How fast can the USS Gerald Ford go? One of the standout features of the USS Gerald R. Ford class of supercarriers is their speed. According to officially published statistics, she is capable of a top speed of around 30 knots, 35 miles per hour per 56 kilometers per hour. To put that into perspective, some of the fastest warships currently in operation, like a modern destroyer, would just about keep up with their engines at full power. Ships that you may be more familiar with, like an ocean liner, usually cruise at around 20 knots, although many can achieve 30 knots at top speed. Her top speed is a little slower than her predecessor, the USS Enterprise, but is even more impressive given the ship's increased size and displacement. The USS Gerald R. Ford has an official displacement of 100,000 long tons when fully laden, with the USS Enterprise coming in at around 94,781 long tons. How big is the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier? She has a total length of 1,092 feet, 333 meters, a beam of 134 feet, 41 meters, at the waterline, a flight deck width of 356 feet, 78 meters, and a height of nearly 250 feet, 76 meters, over 25 decks. As previously mentioned, she also displaces around 100,000 long tons. That makes her one of, if not the largest, warships ever constructed. Even the mightiest battleships of days gone by are dwarfed by her. There is actually a hidden time capsule on board. Another interesting fact about this ship is that it has a hidden time capsule on board. A long naval tradition, the time capsule was welded into a small compartment just above the flight deck on July 11, 2013. President Ford's daughter, Susan Ford Bales, chose the objects for the time capsule, which include, apparently, sandstone from the White House, Navy coins, and aviator wings from the ship's first commanding officer. When the main flight deck island was then lowered into place above it, they were flattened by the incredibly heavy piece of engineering. In response, ship workers lifted the island again, allowing the mementos to be moved and saved. Once done, the flattened items were placed into a time capsule that was welded into what will be the ship's flight deck room. While flattened, all of the commemorative items but the sandstone were largely still intact. How many planes can the USS Gerald Ford hold? The USS Gerald R. Ford is not only an impressive vessel in and of herself, but she really packs a lot of potential in her hangars. According to official figures, she comes equipped with around 75 plus aircraft. Some sources state 90. These are a mixture of strike fighters like the Boeing F/A-18E or F Super Hornet, the electronic warfare variant of the F-18, the EA-18G Growler, and other support aircraft like the Grumman C-2 Greyhound, Northrop Grumman E-2 Hawk, Sikorsky SH-60 Seahawk helicopters, and a variety of unmanned aerial combat vehicles. There are also plans, if not already executed, to provide the USS Gerald R. Ford with a complement of some of America's most advanced aircraft, like the Lockheed Martin F-35C Lightning II. The propellers alone weigh 30 tons apiece. The USS Gerald R. Ford is absolutely enormous, as we've already covered. Because of this, everything about her is supersized, like her propellers. Each one, and there are 4 of them, weighs an eye-watering 30 tons each. They are each 21 feet, 6.4 meters in diameter, and they are made of bronze. The installation of the propellers required more than 10 months of work to install the underwater shafting. To power her enormous shafts and propellers, power is generated from the ship's pair of Bechtel A-1B PWR nuclear reactors. To do this, the nuclear reactors release energy in the form of heat which, in turn, is used to generate high-pressure steam. This steam then drives propulsion turbines, which give the necessary power to turn the propellers. The ship's other electricity is generated by additional turbines. The water is routed back through the system as the steam cools and condenses back into the water, and the process begins again. The USS Gerald R. Ford was designed, in part, using virtual reality. One of the most interesting aspects of the USS Gerald R. Ford is the fact that virtual reality played a major part in its design. To design and plan the construction of the Gerald R. Ford class of aircraft carriers, Newport News Shipbuilding, a subsidiary of Huntington Ingalls Industries, employed a full-scale three-dimensional product model created in Dassault Systèmes CATIA V5. The Gerald R. Ford class was designed with efficient weapon moving pathways in mind to essentially eliminate horizontal movement within the ship. Advanced weapons elevators were also designed to transport weapons from storage facilities to specific weapons handling areas within the ship, which could actually be visualized in 3D during the design stage. The USS Gerald R. Ford has a very new kind of catapult. Unlike her predecessors, the USS Gerald R. Ford includes many new innovations, including its non-steam-powered flight deck catapult. Instead, she is equipped with an electromagnetic aircraft launch system, EMLS, to launch all carrier aircraft. This innovative technology eliminates the need to generate and store steam, freeing up valuable space beneath the deck. This also means that the USS Gerald R. Ford can launch 25% more planes per day with the EMLS than the Nimitz class, and he can do it with 25% fewer crew members. Over a 50-year lifespan, the Navy believes that it will save $4 billion in operating costs. The USS Gerald R. Ford is a powerful ship even without her aircraft. Another major feature of the USS Gerald R. Ford is her complement of close-in and long-range defense systems. These include, but are not limited to, RIM-162 Evolved Sea Sparrow surface-to-air missile launchers, RIM-116 surface-to-air missile launchers, Phalanx Close-in Weapon System, CIWS, automated 0.8-inch, 20mm Vulcan cannons, and M2.50 caliber, 12.7mm machine guns. The Phalanx system alone is capable of autonomously detecting, targeting, and destroying a wide variety of aerial threats, from incoming missiles to aircraft to unmanned aerial vehicles. In order to detect potential threats and get a sense of the combat theater around the ship, the Ford comes equipped with a multifunction and SPY 3X band radar with a volume search radar and SPY 4S band. She also has a dual band radar, DBR, which was first developed for the Zumwalt-class destroyers.